32-29 at halftime run, and you have some scoring very quickly before I talk to Joe Todrank.
Okay, Joe, first of all, for the Loogootee Lions. Kenny Neg had a big second quarter. 5 baskets, had 8 in the first half. 3 in the first quarter, 5 in that second quarter. And in fact, it was almost all Neg in the second quarter for the Lions. 16 points for Neg at halftime to lead all scorers on 8 field goals. No personal fouls. Mike Wagner has a basket for 2 points. Paul Hildenbrand did not score in the first half, but picked up 2 personal fouls. Dave Strange a basket for 2 points. Ken Mattingly 5 baskets, 2 of 2 at the free throw line. 12 points for veteran Ken Mattingly, and 2 personal fouls. 4 personal fouls have been whistled against the Lions in the first half. For the Dubois Jukes of Jim Mueller, Mike Archer has a basket for 2 points, no personal fouls. Bernie Merkel has a basket, 2 points for Merkel. Merkel picked up 2 personals in the first half. Steve Sander, 9 points on 3 field goals, 3 of 3 at the free throw line. No personal fouls against Sander. 9 points for Sander. Joe Neg leads the Dubois scoring with 5 field goals. Missed a chance at the free throw line. 10 points for Neg at halftime. No personal fouls. Leon Ware has 3 baskets, 6 points. 2 personal fouls on Ware here at halftime. Once again, it's Loogootee, after trailing by 3 points most of that second quarter here, coming back with the pressure defense with about 3 minutes to go in the first half and climbing back to a 3-point advantage here at halftime.
Ron, I'll pass along this message, and you go round up Joe Todrank for the little interview until the second half begins. Third Mobile Homes in Johnsville, where the living is easy. Sitting right beside me, Joe, good to see you back on the coaching scene again at Bar Reed.
Thank you, Jerry. It's very good to be back.
Well, you guys played Loogootee earlier, their opening game of the season. What are they doing differently now than they have been against you boys?
Well, Jerry, they dominated the boards much more than they are tonight. Of course, we're a pretty small ball club, and with the big Sanders boy in there, and who's the other boy? Weir. You know, they're pretty well controlling things for Dubois, and I think this is a big difference in the ball team. Now, against us, they hit 19 for 30 the first half, and I think they're getting close to 50% again tonight. So it's not the shooting difference. I think it's the board strength. Hildebrand really played well against us. He dominated the board. Tonight, once he got 2 or 3 rebounds at the most, I think Sanders deserves a lot of credit for this. Dubois is much stronger than what I anticipated. I knew he had some good juniors down there, but they've come along a lot faster than what I anticipated.
I was impressed with you boys' zone defense. They kept Loogootee outside, and they were taking those long shots. That toward the end, Nick was hitting that long thing that he shoots. I don't know what you'd call it, but they weren't hitting those in the first quarter, and that's how you boys got the lead, and I was very impressed with that defense.
Yes, I was too. Of course, Nick, seeing him last year along the tournament trail, he's very capable of hitting this shot, and he demonstrated that last week against us. But the middle is open against the Dubois zone. Now, they're not going into the middle for some reason, and I think if Dubois stays with this zone the second half, I think you'll see Loogootee trying to go more inside with it. I noticed that he had Strange on the wing the first half on the left side, and I don't think Strange took a shot out there. And here again, I think that Jack will make some adjustments at halftime.
I just said Loogootee also has a sophomore that's 6'4", 6'5", that has a broken leg right now, and he could be a factor later on in the season, maybe.
Well, Jerry, evaluating Loogootee, only seeing them play twice, and talking to Jack, I feel that Loogootee will be possibly as strong as they were last year. I think that Jack said there's 3 areas that they have to get tougher in. Number 1, team leadership, and we know what kind of leader Bill Butcher was last year for them. Defensively, they're not as strong, and I think here again, a lot of this credit should go to Bill, and of course Riggins and Walls as well. But Butcher made things tough out there outside. He got in the passing lanes a lot and deflected a lot of passes. And then, of course, rebounding. That's the 3 things that Jack says that they have to get stronger in to be as good as ball clubs did last year. Now, back to Beasley. The boy had a freak accident. He slipped on some loose leaves and sideswiped a parked automobile with his motorcycle. He's definitely out for the year. And from all indications, I think that the boy probably would have started by Christmas time. He is about a 6'3" sophomore. He's brother to the Beasley that played up here a few years ago. He was coming along real nicely. He's got his tip bone broke, his shin bone, and Jack thinks maybe that he has some cartilage damage in his knee. But they're going to let the leg heal first, and then check out the cartilage later.
One more question about the Lions. What about Wagner? We talked about Bill Butcher, some big converts to Bill. Wagner looked good in tournament play last year. For a sophomore, he came in and played real cool basketball. And he's a junior this year, but still he's got a big job on his hands to take Bill Butcher's place.
Well, that's true, Jerry. He has tremendous peripheral vision. And I think, tonight he drove the middle one time and made a pass out the left side, and the Loogootee boys weren't ready for it. I think he was making the pass to Nig. He has tremendous peripheral vision. He's smaller. He doesn't have the wingspan that Bill had last year. And he has trouble sometimes controlling his emotions out there on the floor. He gets carried away. And I think as the experience will come along, he'll be able to control this and be much of an asset to Loogootee. It's easy for Wagner to come off the bench last year. The pressure was there, yes, but still he was coming off the bench expecting to give 2 or 3 or 4 minutes at a time. Now he's called on for leadership, and there's a big difference there.
What about Bar Reef this season?
Well, Jerry, we're awfully young. Of course, Bar Reef has only won 5 games in the last 2 years. They're 3 at 18 2 years ago, and 2 at 19 last year. We're starting a sophomore, 2 juniors, and 2 seniors. Awful young, awful inexperienced, and I tell you, we got beat 21 the other night, and being very realistic and honest about it, Jack took it easy on us. They could have beaten us much worse, but I think we played a pretty decent ball game for our young gentlemen right now. We only had 11 turnovers. We hit an atrocious percentage. We did 14 for 55 from the field, and we got some pretty decent shots. I think that as the season progresses, we're going to come along and be a very good ball club. But I don't know if we're going to be in the caliber of Loogootee, and the way Dubois is playing tonight, I'm not looking forward to going down there either.
A couple more questions, Joe. People around Dubois County have 2 very good basketball teams they're going to be watching. Of course, defending sectional champ Jasper and the Southridge Raiders are supposed to come on this year. Jasper, small and quick, good shooter. Southridge, big and strong, good rebounding.
Yes. Well, you say Jasper small. Here again, I look at their roster, and they're 6'1", 6'2.5", 6'3". They got 5 boys that's in that area. They're quick. They're tremendous shooters. I look for Jasper to be very strong this year. I think they're going to be awfully versatile. Southridge, of course, they lost Brad Bowling last year, and Brad just played super for them. And I think that if Southridge can find that guard replacement, and I understand talking to Coach Duncan here with me, I understand that Donnie Pruce and Mark Walton are looking very good right now. I don't know how Mike Enlow's come along. I understand he broke his arm, and it's an almost slow process for him right now. But yes, Southridge has got the experience. They're going to be strong. Whether they can stand the pressure outside or not remains to be seen. But listen, the way Dubois is playing tonight, don't shortchange them. And I noticed for Forest Park, they only beat Leavenworth by 30 the other night.
So some good basketball for people to look forward to in the general southwestern Indiana area.
Yes, Jerry.
Joe, continue good luck at Bar Reeve, and we'll see you again later on in the season.
Thank you, Jerry. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, Joe.
There's only one senior in the starter. Going to hear from some Dubois, I think, Jerry. They have hung tough here tonight against a good ball club. Well, timeout on the floor. Jim Mueller calls a timeout with 23 seconds. Have a message here from now Wagner, now Blackwell. 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 4. Blackwell at midcourt. Eichmuller, turnaround jumper. Just ahead of the buzzer is good. It'll count. Basket will count. Mark Eichmuller gets basket number 4, and he had a big fourth quarter. That'll make the final score. Loogootee 61. Dubois 50. So the Loogootee Lions win their second of the year and spoil the Dubois Jeeps opener here at Loogootee. Once again, Loogootee 61, Dubois 50. We'll check the statistics on the ball game following this message.
Dubois 61-50, the final score. And Ron, I think all the fans who are driving home tonight back to Dubois are pretty well satisfied with the job their team has done. I see you're...
All right, I had to be real proud, Jerry, because
I don't think there was a person in this gymnasium tonight, or probably anywhere else in southwestern Indiana, that thought even at the end of one quarter the Jeeps would probably be within 1 point, let alone within 3 at halftime, and then came back and trailed by only 2 heading into the final 8 minutes. And for sake of maybe 3 or 4 costly turnovers midway in that fourth quarter, was easily a 2 or 3 point ball game because it was that all the way. The Lions did end up winning it by 11, but that certainly wasn't indicative of the tie ball game. It was at all. The Jeeps hung tough. They played a lot of defense, and I thought they looked real good.
Their downfall was the full court press put on them by Loogootee. At the time, each team had 5 turnovers, and immediately thereafter, Loogootee still had 5 turnovers, and the Chiefs had 15. They ended up with a total of 19, and Loogootee had 11 turnovers in the ball game. Shooting-wise, the Lions 28 of 54. 5 out of 6 from the line. Dubois 21 of 50, a little under 50%. They were 8 of 10 from the free throw line. That's at 19 turnovers for Dubois, which could very well have been their undoing. 11 for Jack Butcher's Loogootee Lions. 61-50 is the final score. Ron, you have some individual scoring yet?
Okay, Jerry, first of all, for the Loogootee Lions to win their second ball game of the year, leading all scorers in the ball game was Kenny Nigg. Nigg had an absolute marvelous night at shooting. We didn't keep individual percentages, but it had to be amazing. Nigg with 13 field goals, 26 points for Ken Nigg, to lead all scorers who were in the ball game. 26 points for Nigg. Wow. And 3 baskets. Points, picked up 1 personal foul. Paul Hildenbrand did not score in the ball game, picked up 2 personal fouls. Dave Strange, 2 baskets, 1 of 2 at the free throw line, 5 points for Strange, and 2 personal fouls. Ken Mattingly had 14 points on 6 field goals, 2 of 2 at the free throw line, 14 points for Mattingly, 12 of those in the first half, and 3 personal fouls. The big gun in the fourth period, and actually the difference in the ball game, Jerry, was Mark Eichmuller, the big sophomore for Loogootee, had 4 field goals, 2 of 2 at the free throw line, all 4 of those backdoors. 10 points for sophomore Mike Eichmuller of Loogootee. For the Dubois Jeeps, balanced scoring attack, Leon Ware will lead the scoring with 17 points.
All right, I might comment right now. I was more impressed this evening with the Dubois Chiefs than I was with the Loogootee Lions. People kept telling me Loogootee has all these boys coming back, and they're going to be better than they were last year. Well, they're not better than they were last year. They have the experience. These guys, just a few months ago, were playing at Market Square Arena, and I personally don't think Loogootee is better than they were last year. They might develop into a team. It's going to be up to Wagoner, I believe, because he's going to have to take Billy Butcher's place, and that's a hard job to do. On the other hand, if I read your scorecard right, Dubois has 1 senior on the ball club, and that's Nigg. Do you have any more?
I have 1 senior starter, of course, Odd Schrader, who didn't get on the ball game tonight.
Nonetheless,
Senior, and just glancing down the roster, I think only 2 seniors on that Dubois roster.
2 seniors on the ball club run, and they play.
And Jim Mueller told me before the ball game, and he didn't come out and say, hey, we're going to do Loogootee or anything of the sort, but he said, I want you to look at my ball club tonight. He said, I'm going to see a couple of boys there that are going to impress you a little bit. And he said, we're going to win the ball game. He said, we're going to play a good ball game here tonight. He said, we're not going to get blown out, and they certainly didn't. And, of course, everyone knows that the Lions of Loogootee have a lot of experience, a good ball club, and certainly not going to take anything away from Loogootee. They certainly did the things they had to do when they had to do them, and of course won the ball game, and you can't knock a winner when they win by 11 points. But they didn't look maybe as sharp as we had expected, a defending runner-up to look with the experience that they had, but I'm sure they're going to be tough to beat, Jerry.
They're always tough to beat at home, and that's what Southridge found out last year when we kicked off the season, and Dubois found it out tonight.
Well, that's about the story from here as the Lions win number 2 on the season. Once again, spoil the opener for the Dubois Jeeps of Jim Mueller. And once again, the final score, Loogootee 61, Dubois 50. For Jerry Rouser, this is Ron Weeks. Good night, everyone.